One of the biggest challenges in Infinite Magicraid is having enough fodder to progress all of the heroes that you build out in your roster. There's not a lot of great ways to get additional fodder. You can certainly buy some at the market. There are dispatch quests that give fodder. You can farm campaign. You can run Dragon Cliffs. But even if you do all of those things and you do them diligently, you're going to find that the number of wishes that you expend and get epic and legend heroes is bringing in heroes faster than you can build them up. That can be a source of frustration for many players. So I wanted to deep dive into that a little bit and see, is there any other ways that we can build out fodder and make it a little bit more clear how to progress and how to progress a little bit more quickly. Today we're going to talk about one that I found on my own accounts. And I don't know if this applies to everyone. Some people are probably better at managing this than I have been. But I suspect there's a lot of players as well who aren't maximizing the resources that they have. So when we use our wishes, we end up a lot of times with 4-star epics as a result. And in the early game, a 4-star epic is gold, right? We use these characters to progress, but it doesn't take that long, especially if you take advantage of like the double legend summons and those type of events, before you have legend heroes, which become the base formation of your teams, but you still have legend heroes that you've been saving. Now, you can certainly argue that you should hold on to some of your epic heroes because you won't have enough legend heroes to farm out all of the Faction Abyss dungeons. But I think the counterpoint, and the one I would like to push here a little bit, is even in the most optimal case, even if you are a spender and a big spender, you can still only progress so quickly as far as awakening your heroes and building out the duplicates for those heroes. Which means that Faction Abyss, getting all 10 clans maxed out to the point where you can max out Faction Abyss, is something that you're looking at months before you get to it. In some cases, maybe even longer than that. So I'm going to argue that we should not be holding on to marginal epic heroes just because they happen to be in a clan, and we hope that one day we'll be able to more quickly progress through the Faction Abyss. I think the mantra of focus your attention on as few as heroes as possible, build them out fully before expanding, still holds true with the Faction Abyss. So what I want to do is I want to go through the list of all of the heroes that I've got in my account and make a decision on the epic side, which ones are important enough to keep and which ones should I be converting into fodder. So there's something to keep in mind here. So the game is built sort of on a powers of 6 approach. In other words, to make a 5-star hero, it takes 6 4-star heroes. To make a 4-star hero, it takes 6 3-star heroes, and so on and so forth. If you do the math, what you find is that a 4-star hero is worth 216 1-star heroes, and a 5-star hero is worth 1,296 1-star heroes. So even though they take about, a 1-star hero and a 5-star hero both take the same real estate when you're scrolling through your heroes, they are vastly different in the amount of value that they hold. So from that end, I want to utilize these large stores of value that we have in our 4-star heroes by going through that list and making hard decisions about what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to use for fodder. So let's go ahead and do that right now. The first thing to note is I'm not going to use any of my 5-star legends as fodder yet. I just don't have a large roster of those available. I can see utility in all of them in current state. And I do expect over time that I will identify legends that I don't think are going to be helpful, and I'll turn them into fodder. And I would encourage you to do the same exact thing. For now, though, I'm just going to take a look at the epic heroes. And the first epic hero I'm going to take a look at is Liz. Liz I'm going to keep. I love that Liz has shield. I love that her exclusives doubles the power of those shields. She also offers very good heals, cleanse, burns. One of the strongest epics out there. We're definitely going to be keeping her. Now, I'm not going to be talking about every single epic. I'm really just going to focus on the ones that I keep. The second epic that I'm going to keep is Justy. Justy offers Wound, which is a powerful skill against high regen boss mobs, or boss mobs that are getting a lot of heals. So he's marginal otherwise, but we're going to keep him just for that, though we may turn him into fodder later. Oboro is another good epic AE champion. He's not as strong as some of the epic champions or some of the legend champions that we're going to get later, but the advantage that the epics have is it is relatively easy to get their exclusives. And in the sort of mid-game, it is hard to get exclusives for legends, so you can actually turn a epic hero with a bunch of exclusives into a better option than a legend, and I think Oboro could easily be one of those. So he offers good AE damage, and I've got multiple copies of him, so he's probably worth saving to build out. So I'm going to lock Oboro. Eden, I'm also going to keep Eden. I'd like that she's got turn meter, she's got heals, she's got some similarity with Liz, actually, but the one thing that Eden has that Liz doesn't have is she's got an A2 with a 20% attack up for the entire team. That could be a very useful skill for both wave clearing and arena. Imagine if you partner a hero like Space, who has very strong turn meter control and can speed up your entire team. You run Space into Eden, where you run this attack up 20%, and then you hit hard with your AE heroes, and you can wipe out waves or arena teams before they even get a chance to take a turn. So going to keep Eden. Holder is next. Holder is another very, very strong epic champion. There are those who believe Holder is the strongest epic champion. Holder has AE plus counterattack plus bleed. Plus, as an epic, it's very easy to get duplicate copies, even if you have to use Phantom Eyes. So I'm going to keep Holder. You could probably argue I probably should have already built out Holder. Next up is Malasa, who is strong, though marginal in some ways. And the reason I'm keeping Malasa is because of Poison. Poison right now, I think, is a little underpowered. The devs at DH Games have talked about maybe increasing the utility of Poison. So I'm going to keep that. Plus, she is good against bosses. Poisons are damage over time. They keep dropping damage. Even if shield is up, they help nullify some of the regen that bosses will have. So I'll keep Malasa, and I'll probably build her out at some point. Next up is a new epic champion, Seal. Seal came out just a couple of days ago as part of the Halloween event, and I was fortunate enough to get some copies. Seal offers shield removal and big damage on an A2, plus Immortal on his ultimate skill for the entire team. That could be very strong in the arena, especially versus shield teams. I'm looking forward to building out Seal and seeing how this hero does. Frey I'm going to keep as well, though Frey is a little bit of a one-trick pony. The interesting thing about Frey is his ability to ignore shields on enemy heroes. That can be super valuable on some tower levels and even some campaign bosses. I'm going to hold on to him just for that. Some question in my mind as to whether I'll ever use resources to build him out, but I'll make that decision later. Next up is Loif. Loif has the advantage of having HP burning, which is probably the best skill as far as damage dealing that's out there right now. The downside of Loif is that he's only got a 40% chance of applying the HP burn on his attacks, which is actually pretty low. Normally you would book that up to try to increase it, but they have not provided for that, so books don't increase chances. But if you use his exclusives, you can get his chances up to 80%, which is more respectable. And just given the raw power of HP burn, I think I like Loif, and I'm going to hold on to him. Sadora is another wound champion that's probably a specialist for the tower. I'm going to hold on to her just for that. Magus, Wizard Eye healer, used to be the strongest healer in the game. Going to hold on to him just because of that very strong healing ability and because he's Wizard's Eye. I think it's, otherwise marginal, but worth keeping for now. The thing I like about Vero is, well, the character model. That's really all I like about Vero. I like the blue and the sort of dark gray black coloring. I think it's kind of a neat look. She kind of has a gunslinger plus Victorian plus maybe just a touch of steampunk or Magitech to her that I think would be really cool. I wish I could keep her, but I can't, so I'm not going to lock her in. Maguire, wounds, provokes, another sort of tower specialist in my opinion, but I am going to keep a hold. And then Vim. Vim is very strong, has shields, damage reduction will get used throughout the middle game, good in the arena, good in campaign mode, good in dungeons. So I'll be keeping Vim. And then sort of last but not least is Reeves. Reeves is a good AE champion, probably worth building out. I'm going to hold on to Reeves. All the other champions on the list that are not the ones I just named, they're going to get turned into fodder. I could make arguments in special cases for some of them, maybe even all of them, but on balance, I think it's more important to progress my account forward by raising the awaken level of a select number of heroes. Most of them are legends, as well as getting some exclusives done on the epic heroes that I do want to build out. The next step is to take all of these champions over to the training hall. Now remember, we've locked all champions, epic or legend, that we don't want to turn into fodder, and we've unlocked all epic champions that we're willing to turn into fodder. So all we need to do now in the training hall is select a hero that is fodder, select the little lightning symbol. The game will auto-populate heroes that fit that criteria. We don't have to go manually through and reselect because we've already done that work. Confirm we're going to do that. I think we do that 7 times in total. Remember, each 4-star hero that converts, each 5-star hero is worth 1,296 1-star heroes. So by creating 7 of them, we've burned the equivalent of almost 10,000 or maybe a little over 10,000 1-star heroes, which is a significant amount of fodder. That will allow us to make meaningful changes to the account, progress that much faster, probably even get the Halloween event completed and pick up the fabulous rewards for that. Get past tower floor 18 at least, maybe pick up some additional 5-star eggs and progress even further. So if your account is in this situation where you have a ton of 4-star heroes that you've been collecting and afraid to get rid of, I would say take a good look, decide what you want to keep, why you want to keep it, and get rid of all the rest, and enjoy playing the game rather than struggling through a lack of fodder for progression.